Here's my Suzuki Bergman with my start problem. It's a 400, a 2006 Suzuki Bergman 400. If you come on over, first we need to find the location of the start relay. We pull this panel off right there, and there it is right down in there. So that's my suspect problem. So I'm going to replace that, but first I'll test it. This is the start motor relay that I'm replacing. On the right is the cover. You can see there's two pegs on the side that if you squeeze those in, it'll pull right off the top. The cable on the top there with 4 pins, there's a squeeze button on the back of that to pull that cable out. So you have the battery, you have the motor connected there, you have a fuse on the left side, 30 amp fuse, and you have a spare fuse on the right. So we'll go to the schematic and we'll talk about it a little more. Okay, we're talking about the relay here. Before I do, I want to make sure you put your center kickstand on your bike up, because when you do this, it'll kick the starter motor and it's possible that it'll start and take off on you. So very, very important, make sure your center kickstands it up, because if you bridge from here to here, it will start and it does bypass all the safety relays. Additionally, this is connected to this 30 amp fuse, which provides 12 volt power to the rest of the bike through these two terminals. This is the coil that energizes the relay. If you read from here to here, you'll get, with an ohm meter, you'll get about 5 ohms. That means that coil is probably good. And if you energize that coil, then this will pull up and start. On mine, this was intermittent. So even though this was coming up, this was not connecting. This is a spare 30 amp fuse right here, so that if this one goes bad, you can just pull this out and put it in over here. That's it. This is the schematic for the starter and starter relay system. Here's the starter, here's the relay, and these are the two M and B connections that we've been talking about on the relay itself. If you bridge from here to here, you will get a 12 volts from all the way from the battery all the way across here, through here, and through the motor, and the motor will turn. So before you do that, make sure your center kickstand is up, because this bypasses all of the safety relays and interlocks to keep it from starting. But it will tell you if your motor's good. And then your problem, if your motor's good, is back here somewhere. If you're hearing this click, it is most likely the relay. If it clicks but it doesn't turn on, then you've probably got an intermittent problem here in this start section. But to make sure this is working, you have to have the center, the side kickstand up. That will close this switch, will pull this relay down, and it provides a 12 volt circuit through here to the engine start switch. This is the two brakes. Both those have to be pulled to pull this relay down, and that allows a path from the coil through the start push start button, through the engine button, and back through here to power. This is the 30 amp relay we've been talking about, and you have a spare for that. So this is the key switch. Brakes have to be on. Side sticks is up. In this case, we want the center kickstand up as well. And if you hear this click, then you've got your special case scenario where I am, where the relay's kicking, but the motor's not turning on. So I'm suspecting that there's a problem with this connection right here, and that's why we're replacing the relay. So this is my special case here. I'm going to pull the brake in and hear the clicking. That means the relay is trying to engage. I've got all the safeties engaged, or the relay wouldn't kick. So from there, it's just a matter of seeing if the starter's good. Now this is going to spark a little bit, but it should be fine. So that's the motor kicking, so I know I've got a good motor. How to get this thing out. First of all, you disconnect the positive terminal of the battery, take off the two nuts, make sure you don't drop them. The new one does come with new nuts. Pull off the cable on the top. It slides off. There's some notches on the side here, and it slides on two forks. So if you stick a screwdriver down in the side here, like that, you can pry it off. And then you use some needle nose to hold it while you stick it back on. Then you connect everything else. Make sure you get the red wire on the left side. So I got everything hooked back up. A pair of needle nose pliers came in handy to slide that puppy back in there on those two forks and help get the 10mm screws started. You need to bend the two cables down at 90 degrees and make sure you got them down, and then the white cover will snap back on and you can plug back in the auxiliary connector. Double check to make sure you got the red side on the left and the black one on the right. Put your battery cable back on, shut your door, turn your key on, pull the throttle, start her right up. Everything works good. Just as a side note, there is on the other side is the fuse boxes and the relays that we were talking about earlier on the drawing. Thank you for your time. I hope this was helpful to you. Have a good day.